Good morning. My name is Brent Weisberg. I'm the Communications Administrative Director for the Salt Lake City Police Department. In a few moments, Salt Lake City Mayor Aaron Mendenhall and Police Chief Mike Brown will provide our community an update regarding the ongoing murder investigation of Aaron Lowe. We will not be taking any questions, and there will be no interviews afterwards because this remains an ongoing investigation with active follow-up being conducted by our homicide detectives. We appreciate your understanding, and now Chief Mike Brown.
Good morning. Early this morning, I spoke with Donna Lowe, the mother of the University of Utah football player Aaron Lowe, and let her know that the detectives assigned to the Salt Lake City Police Department's homicide squad have arrested the person accused of the murder of her son and critically wounding a 20-year-old female. Because of the incredible work of our homicide detectives, we have justice for Aaron. When I talked to Aaron's mother on Monday, I made her a promise. We would find her son's alleged killer. I could not be prouder of the detectives led by Captain Vic Siebenek, Lieutenant Todd Mitchell, and Sergeant Derek Christensen, and that our detectives never gave up. Our homicide detectives sacrificed so much of their personal time, the time spent with their family and friends, to solve this case and to get answers. In the days immediately following Aaron's murder, they worked 20 hours a day to make sure that every lead was followed up on, every video was scrutinized, and every photo was analyzed. They conducted more than 24 interviews. I'd specifically like to recognize the Salt Lake City's 911 dispatchers who handled the 911 calls professionally and who gave our officers critical information in real time before and after the shooting. Our homicide squad, led by Sergeant Christensen. Our entire investigation division, led by Captain Vic Siebenek and Lieutenant Todd Mitchell. Detectives from several different squads within our department assisted with this investigation. Our gang unit, our bike squad, for their efforts in working this case and spending hours searching for the suspect and safely arresting him. I'd also like to thank our victim advocates and social workers who are continuing to support Aaron's family and the neighbors impacted by this traumatic incident. Homicide investigations are complex. They take time, and this investigation was no different. This investigation never stalled. Although the case received significant media attention, it is an example of the tremendous work Salt Lake City PD homicide detectives put into every case. In a time of need, the Salt Lake City Police Department turned to our community. We asked people to come forward and to share any information they had. That is not easy. It takes bravery and it takes trust. To those who submitted tips, photos, and videos, thank you. Thank you very much. Because of your actions, your tips, and the unrelenting pursuit of justice from our detectives, we have arrested the person accused of murdering Aaron Lowe. So many lives have been impacted from this senseless shooting. I again want to thank the work of our patrol officers, detectives, crime lab technicians, our data analysts, our intelligence center, and the professional staff of the Salt Lake City Police Department. Their dedicated work of combing through every lead and every piece of evidence is what led us to this arrest. I'd also like to recognize the University of Utah, University President Taylor Randall, Athletic Director Mark Harlan, Chief Safety Officer Keith Squires, and others have all been instrumental in this investigation. The Salt Lake City Police Department greatly appreciates the university's willingness to help us with this investigation. We have some answers today. I know there are still so many other questions that people want answers to. Those answers will come through the litigation of this case. And today, I want to thank the Salt Lake County District Attorney's Office for their assistance in this case. Because the suspect, now identified as 22-year-old Book, is facing criminal charges, we must continue to protect the integrity of this investigation. That means I am unable to answer many of the specific questions people have on this case right now. However, I do want to reassure the community, and specifically the students up at the U, this was not a targeted attack against the university, its athletic department, or Aaron Lowe. And despite the rumors on social media, this was also not a targeted gang-related shooting. This was a shooting that should have never have happened. We are seeing too much gun violence across the country and our city. Sadly, Salt Lake City is not immune to that gun violence. But our patrol officers and detectives are committed to keeping our community safe and to hold people accountable when they commit a crime. Today, we have done just that. Today, because of the hard work and determination of our homicide detectives at the Salt Lake City Police Department, we have gotten justice for Aaron Lowe and for the 20-year-old victim critically wounded. Thank you. Mayor?
Thanks, Chief. The shooting death of a remarkable, talented student athlete who is a son, a brother, a friend, has rattled our community since last weekend. This morning, I was incredibly relieved to have received a text from Chief in the middle of the night, not usually something that's relieving, but to know that an arrest was made in this case. And I want to thank the officers who have worked literally around the clock since last weekend, following up on every lead, the many investigations they've pursued, and what they've been able to piece together to start to give us some answers about this case. To the family of Aaron Lowe, my heart grieves for you as mayor of Salt Lake City and as a mother. No parent should ever have to bury their child. The work of our Salt Lake City Police Department gives Aaron Lowe's family and our entire capital city community a step toward justice, as Chief talked about. And I think that their work, the police department's work, embodies what we expect of our police officers in Salt Lake City, and that it is the kind of work that they do every day. I'm really proud of their dedication and their diligence to do this, but it won't bring Aaron Lowe back. I know every single one of our police officers would rather work to prevent tragedies like this than investigate them afterward. As a state, we are down more than 600 police officers across all the departments. Salt Lake City is unfortunately still down 55 paid positions. I would wager that Salt Lake City is hiring at a faster rate than any other department in the state of Utah, but it is not enough yet. We need more officers. I know that unemployment is at the lowest in the nation here in the state of Utah. I know we have an incredibly educated population, and I know that the work of policing is different than it was even when Chief took the job 100 years ago, or when these guys took their jobs just a couple decades ago, or even when I started as mayor in January of 2020. Policing is different today. I know it's an incredible challenge that personally I don't know, but I've watched our officers struggle through incredible times. I know we're asking a lot, but I know that there are women and men in this capital city and across the state of Utah who feel compelled to help their communities, who feel called to action when there is a need, and who can hear the cries of families like Aaron Lowe's family and others in our city who've lost loved ones to violent shootings. I'm asking you to step up. I'm asking you to consider joining the Salt Lake City Police Force, the greatest police force in the nation, who is in evolution every single day to become even better. I want you to join the highest paying police department in the state of Utah, but whose character and culture is the strongest. We need more officers. We need to be able to respond to calls for help that come from our community, and I know that our officers want to be able to do that. So I'm grateful for the arrest in this shooting. I'm grateful to the dedication of our police officers, and I'm asking our community to help us fill these gaps in our department that we are ready to train you on. Thanks for being here today.
Thank you, everyone.
Chief, can you answer a little more about the